Good morning, everybody. Kaiwaza with you. Welcome back to my channel and our journey through my Hawaiian record collection. Today we are finishing up the letter H. It's been a long journey. It's a very big letter in the alphabet in the Hawaiian records, as you can imagine, Hawaiian. So we are wrapping up the letter H. And I thought that I actually would have more to do today, but I thought I'll do the Exotica records and probably the South Pacific records that are filed under the letter H, and that will wrap it up. But I discovered I hardly have any. I only have a couple in South Pacific and Exotica that are under the letter H. So what I'll do, I decided, like what am I going to do with the rest of the time, is to do a video update or vinyl update of a couple of things I've gotten recently. We will finish the letter H, and then I will use the time today to show you my boxed set collections of Hawaiian records. We'll do that, and then we will, as tradition, we will draw for the new letter to see what letter of the alphabet we'll be going through next. So let's start with the vinyl update. So we start with vinyl update. These are records that I've gotten recently that we would have covered in previous letters of the alphabet that we've already done. So I just need to show them to you because now they've been added to the collection. And I have three of them. Okay, first one is South Pacific. This is just, selections from the Broadway musical. This particular album by the Somerset Orchestra, Boris Merson conductor. It's on the Perfect Listening label, which is a product of Epic. Looks like one of those labels where they took stuff they already had released earlier and then re-released them cheaper because they'd already made their money off of it or something. Anyway, it's just orchestral South Pacific stuff. I only get, I know the Broadway musical is not exactly Hawaiian music, but I do think it belongs in a Hawaiian collection, and I get South Pacific records only when they're really cheap. I mean, when I find them for $1 or $2 or something somewhere, I'll get anybody's renditions of stuff from South Pacific. So this was at a record show recently that I got for like $2, so that's why I have it. Here's a record. Now, I went to my local Easy's, it's called Easy's, formerly Jelly's record store the other day. I hadn't been in a little while, and I had a little voice telling me to go there all day, and I don't know why, and I understand now why, but listen to those little voices. I picked up a couple things. Loyal Garner, Hawaii Today. This is an album of hers from 1977. And interestingly, I think it's the last one of hers I didn't have, and I keep forgetting that I don't have it. It's weird. Like, I will see it here and there, and I'll get home, and I'll realize, oh man, I don't have that one. I keep not getting it, and I don't know why. And yesterday, when I was at the record store, they had it, and I remembered, like, John, that's the one you don't have, so buy it, okay? Loyal Garner, this one is particularly, she was called Our Lady of Love, passed away a few years ago. Very beloved here. Kind of loungy, has a magnificent voice, and this one, she's known for being very emotional. In this one, she's like super emotional on some of these songs. I love her rendition of Maui Waltz. I mean, she talks some of the lyrics, and it's just like uber emotional, and the local people here really loved her and loved that, and yeah, she was a great performer, great lady. And what shocked me that was at the record store was this album. I don't know if you've seen some of my previous videos, this album is very elusive. The Waiehu Sons, Ho'olu, this is their first album, and wow, like, I don't know if they just didn't press enough of these or what the deal is, but when you find this record, it's so expensive. It's like on eBay, goes for like $100 and $70. I'm like, why? I don't understand. And you never ever see it. Like when you go to the record shops or the sales and stuff, it's like you never see this record. I just don't think they printed enough of them or whatever, but they had this at the record store for $5 yesterday. I'm like, $5? And of course I got it, and it's not in the best shape, I have to say for sure. And I did clean it up, and it still skips on a couple of songs that I can't really fix. So I guess that's why it was so cheap. So I'll definitely be looking for a better copy, but at least, hey, for $5, I got a copy of this record. It has on it Ka'ulawehi Oke Kai, which was a very big hit, and that particular arrangement was lifted by another local group whose name shall remain anonymous. And there were lawsuits and whatever. I don't know how that was settled, but both of them were very, very popular versions of that song, and they are pretty much identical. But yeah, I mean, this is a nice album. It's good. I just don't quite understand why it's so expensive when you find it, but I finally got it, okay? Now, that's the vinyl update for finishing up the letter H. I don't have anything in the South Pacific records that came under the letter H. Nothing. And only 2 records that are in Exotica under the letter H. So let's look at those now. This is Richard Hayman and his orchestra on Mercury Voodoo stereo version. It's a fun record, these kind of like orchestral exotic voodoo things. The Spell of Diatra. Invocation. Good stuff. And then this album, this is another album, very, very expensive. I don't know. Maybe there just aren't a lot of them. It's really good stuff. This record I did pay money for quite a few years ago. I think it was like $25, and I was happy to get it for that. And it's not in great condition either. But I do have it on CD. At some point, I suppose I should get really a better copy of it. But this is White Goddess, Frank Hunter and his orchestra. It is a fantastic record. It's fantastic. Orchestral, very dark, some of these songs, very strange. A lot of some wordless oohing and ahhing. Ritual of the Torch. Strange Echoes, I love that song. And Mists of Gorongosa. I always want to say Mist of... what's that cheese? Anyway, White Goddess, the great album. You'll never see it cheap. But if you happen to see it somewhere, it's a good one. So I was planning on doing the box sets, but you know what? I think actually we will stop right there because I think this is long enough. Yeah. So we'll stop there and listen to some samples.
You are my
Okay, so hope you enjoyed that. That wraps up the letter H, and I've shown you my Hawaiian record boxed set collection. And now it's time for us to draw for the next letter. And what I always do is whatever book I'm reading, because I'm always reading 1 or 2 books, is to sort of randomly select a letter to go to next that we haven't already covered. So the book I'm reading right now is Do Not Sell at Any Price, The Wild Obsessive Hunt for the World's Rarest 78 RPM Records by Amanda Petrusic. Actually, and I specifically mentioned this book because it was recommended on a channel I subscribe to. Richard Riley mentioned a couple of books, both of which I got. This was one of them, and and thanks for that recommendation, because I love this book. I've been really loving it, just about people that are obsessively into 78 RPMs. I'm not into 78s. I really don't have any way to play them, but it's fascinating, and I do enjoy the music, so I really recommend. It's a great read. Also, if you do like 78 RPMs, I would mention to you there's an internet radio station that I listen to off and on that's wonderful. It's called Radio Nostalgia Amsterdam. I will put the link in the description below. But this guy is a collector himself, and he has like tens of thousands of 78 RPMs, and he lives in Amsterdam in the Netherlands. And he has a radio station that plays all these 78s, and it's all different genres of music and different languages, because it's not just American. He has French and Spanish and German ones, and Hawaiian. I've heard some Hawaiian. So he's got everything. And I will put the link below, because there are actually several radio stations called Radio Nostalgia, I've discovered. But the one is Radio Nostalgia Amsterdam, and I'll put the link below. It's really great. And there are several different venues where you can hook up into that station. Anyway, so let's see what a letter of the alphabet we'll do next. I don't know. Let's go over here. D. The word is landing, and I landed on the letter D. So, next video we will begin with the letter D.